What's up, guys? This is KraftMoto. We're here today to do an exclusive interview with Clown Shoes. Brought a couple beers for us to try, and we're going to be going over the beer and also talking about Clown Shoes themselves. Cue intro. Alright, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started with this exclusive interview with Clown Shoes here. Today I'm with Steven Von Grimm. He is the Houston rep for Clown Shoes out of Ipswich,
Sandwich, Massachusetts. The little burg tucked into the northeast corner of Massachusetts, Sandwich, Massachusetts.
Which is our first beer today to try?
We've got our Clementine Wit. This has been one of our earliest beers that we came up with. It's a Belgian Wit, 6%. Chambly yeast is the Belgian yeast strain that we use. And the grain bill is wheat and Pilsen malt, 2-row, and mandarin hops, a little bit of coriander on the end of it, and we are adding clementine peel to the boil along with a sweet orange essence during primary fermentation.
Okay, and with this beer, what kind of palate, what kind of people would actually enjoy this kind of beer? Like, what other beers if they like a certain beer, let's say like stuff that isn't craft beer or something is craft beer, what can you compare this to kind of help people get into what the Clown Shoes is trying to bring to the public?
I frequently have used Clementine as a sort of a gateway beer. If they haven't heard of us before, because some of our beers are pretty intimidating at the start, 14% Russian Imperial.
Oh yeah, I mean you guys are known for your stouts.
So for people that aren't ready for that or are kind of new to craft beer in general, I'll start them off with the Clementine or a Mango Kolsch. Or I was just doing a demo the other day, and somebody said that they weren't really into craft beer, but they've had a Blue Moon. They like Blue Moon. So that's a Belgian Wit. It's an easy transition if somebody is looking for, if they like Hefeweizens or something that can cut the heat. Usually I'll start them off with a Clementine and then go from there.
Yeah, I mean you're saying that it's got the Clementine. I can definitely see somebody that enjoys a Belgian Wit like Blue Moon would go into something like this. What aromas am I going to get off of this?
First, you're going to probably get the Belgian yeast. Chambly yeast is, there's so many substrains of Belgian yeast, but the Chambly is going to be low on that banana and clove that you're usually going to find with the Belgian yeast. You're going to get the coriander. You're going to get the citrus. We're using mandarina hop. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but the mandarina hop plus the clementine peel plus the orange essence is really going to play on that citrus. It's overall, it's going to be a light, refreshing beer.
Okay. I can definitely see somebody that does enjoy a Blue Moon, this being like a very, very good gateway craft beer into the craft beer world. Very light. It's got some great medium carbonation to it. It's not overly carbonated. It's not underly carbonated. I can definitely taste the Clementine. I can definitely taste the Belgian Wit, the Belgian yeast and whatnot in it. Overall, it's smooth, light. Doesn't stay on your palate for very long. And it's just a great beer.
Solid Belgian Wit. This is Guava King. The beer before this with Josh Baggett, who is part of our distributor here in Texas, Favorite Brands. His first label that he was on was called Josh the Revelator, which was a 10.3% IPA. And the reason why he got on the label was because he was the rep that has sold the most Clown Shoes in all of the state of Texas. And Texas is the size of Texas.
Yeah.
So what we did for this beer was it's a Citra Mosaic based IPA. Comes in at 7.4. And we added guavas to it. And as far as why guavas, we saw IPAs with grapefruit. We saw IPAs with a lot of citrus. This was kind of before the New England style IPA fervor was getting going, and we thought guava's subtle. We don't know of many people using guavas. We saw plenty of mango IPAs. I think last summer was the year for mango IPAs. Let's try guava. And for every 3,000 gallons of this beer, we're adding between 200 and 300 pounds of guavas to the boil instead of during primary fermentation. And the reason for that is we thought then we didn't want this to be a fruit beer. We wanted to have it be a beer first with fruit second. And a lot of that guava intensity, that sugary fruitiness ferments out then in the boil and leaves it pretty subtle taste on the end with the guava aroma getting to you before you actually, I think, taste any of that.
Awesome. Well, let's crack this thing open and let's try it. Aromas are we going to get? What kind of flavors? I mean, you said there's guava in it. It's not going to be a lot of guava. It's going to be a little bit more subtle.
Yeah. With the Citra Mosaic, those being the main hops in it, you're going to get that tropical flavor to the
You
beer.
can sort of smell the guava on the nose and the aroma on it.
You get a little bit of bite, but not as much bite as you would an IPA that is Galaxy centered or a lot of Cascade or Centennial or Chinook. We wanted to go for subtlety, and for people that think that, but they're not necessarily an IPA fan, or they think all IPAs are very bitter. I'll sample them on this, and then they go, "Oh wow, this is completely not what I thought it would be."
It's very smooth. It isn't, like you said, the bitterness of hops that most people, would compare or talk about an IPA is like that's the reason why they don't like them, which isn't true. It's very, very smooth. Again, the hops don't stay on your palate very long. The guava kind of overtakes in the middle, and then it smooths out. You get that little bit of hotness at the end. That's what I'm tasting. Am I wrong about that?
No. We wanted to. We didn't want to do a overly sweet IPA. We also didn't want to be completely devoid of that hop character. Our brewer Dan is a particular. He likes Mosaic a lot, and it's also my favorite hop because of its versatility as far as what flavors you can get from it depending upon when you add it to the boil. So there's Mosaic finds its way into a lot of our beers, but with this IPA compared to the dankiness of Space Cake and the pine and grapefruit of our Galactica IPA, no, this comes in much subtler.
It's very, very smooth, and this is definitely something I would introduce people to a very good IPA, very smooth. Why normal?
Yeah, okay.
And why not, right? We're here drinking.
We've only got 3 more to get to.
Yeah, right. I mean, for a double IPA, this is really good. I mean, definitely I would not recommend drinking a lot of this right off the bat. It weighs in at, you said, just over
7.4.
7.4. That's actually extremely low for a double IPA.
Yeah, as far as what qualifies as a double IPA or an imperial, I think it's still that 7%, 7.5% is that cutoff or that starting line where you can call it a double IPA. I think it's probably a matter of preference. Want to drink some beer?
Yes, let's drink some beer. All right. Next one.
Roll.
So, next beer we are going to is the Chocolate Sombrero. Please explain this beer to me.
Chocolate Sombrero is our most popular stout. It used to be in bombers, and it's still in 4-packs. Comes in at 9%. No chocolate flavoring is added, so whatever chocolate anybody is getting from this beer, it's all due to the chocolate malt. And then we add roasted barley, ancho chilies, vanilla, cinnamon, coriander, sort of a Mexican spice blend. There's a variation that we do on this beer called Bombay Berserker. Still the same base beer, but instead of that particular spice blend that I just mentioned, it's an Indian spice blend where we're adding ginger, cinnamon, cardamom. We with this beer in particular, for people that generally go shy away from dark beers because they think, oh, it's a dark beer, it's a stout, it's going to be like Guinness, because that's their touchstone as far as dark beer. This is the one that wins them over because they think it's chocolate's going to be this almost like dessert beer. No, it's a deep, rich stout where it's a lot of roast, and then the ancho chilies come in on the back. A lot of people say when they're sipping it, they're expecting a hot, spicy beer. Not with this one, because the ancho chilies contribute to the roast. People smell the vanilla. It's a beer that operates on a bunch of levels.
Give this shot. Oh wow! Like I said, you can really smell the roasted malts on that. All right, yeah, you get the roasted malts in the front, and then you get that slight spiciness as it finishes. That's actually extremely smooth. Wow.
Some cinnamon.
You can definitely taste the chilies though.
Vanilla. I like. I think a little vanilla goes a long way, and too much, and it overshadows all the other flavors that you're gonna try and go for in regard to a beer. And the vanilla for me comes out in the aroma and brightens up all the other flavors in the beer.
You can definitely smell a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of that chili, and then that vanilla, as you just said. Yeah, it really does come out in the aroma. More on it like sort of just comes right before the spiciness and just after the roasted malts a little bit as well. Wow. I'm not a big dark guy. I don't like darker beers. I don't like heavier beers or anything like this, but this is very light. This is something that, you could put into a regular, like 11 ounce pour, and I could actually enjoy. Even enjoy it on a hot day. This is it's actually sort of refreshing on the palate because it is a lighter stout. And then that chili and that vanilla and the roasted malt, it's kind of like a midday or more later at night kind of something that I would drink. And I thoroughly enjoy this. This is a great gateway.
So with this series, it's named after the Clint Eastwood Man with No Name spaghetti westerns. This first version was The Good, the Bad, and Unidragon. The second version was Fistful of Unidragons, which was a barrel-aged version of this beer. And then the third, which just recently came out, was for a few Unidragons more, which used coffee from Greenway in Houston. We are using mesquite smoked malt from Badlands in Austin for this beer. And then we bourbon barrel-aged for a few Unidragons more. So that's the culmination of everything that we were doing with this series. But I wanted to bring this one because this is where it started for the Texas Only beers for us and for the Unidragon series, because I would, well, you would know better than me, but as far as its notoriety, as far as what we do in regard to stouts and people, if they see it on the board at the local bar, and they know what we do and who we are. Yeah, I'd like to think that this is the one that they go, that one, I heard about that one.
Anyways, to the aroma and to the actual beer itself, when they come to the aroma, what am I going to smell? If somebody were to pick this beer up, what would they get off of it?
Booze. A lot. There's a lot.
You're right about that one.
So with this beer, I mean, I can actually taste the smoke, the mesquite from the malts that we're using from Badlands. It's certainly more roasty.
Very roasty.
More burnt than the Blakecorn Unidragon. It's a giant 14% Russian Imperial Stout.
You really get that smoked flavor out of it. You get a lot of booze off of this beer, but its finish is nice. You still get that little bit of dryness on the mouthfeel itself, on your palate. But overall, with the booze, it's still not in your face. Yes, on the aroma, you may smell a lot of booze. Being a 14%er, it's, again, the flavor's there. The booze is definitely there. The mesquite flavor is definitely there. I know I said hickory. But now that you say mesquite, again, I'm starting to really get that flavor out of it. A little bit of chocolate on there, too. The roasted malts, you still get a little bit of that coffee roasted sort of flavor, but it's very, very minimal.
Next to no hop content. The hops that we're using is going to be Columbus and Styrian malts, but really not a whole heck of a lot.
No,
you're not
it's
going to
very
get
subtle.
Any bitterness that you're getting from this. It's all from the malt.
I do want to take the time to sort of promote and sort of to let you guys know as they come in public that these guys actually are coming out with an exclusive Texas beer called Tony the Emperor from the Equator. It's a new triple IPA, and it is being released and being shipped to Texas. Should be here on Memorial Day. And from what I've heard, it is a phenomenal beer, and I really want to see this thing pushed. If you guys ever see it on tap, please try it. Again, this is an exclusive beer specifically for Texas by Clown Shoes. And before we end this video, is there anything specifically that you want to add to the public to let them know what makes you you?
Well, as far as any closing statements, I just want to say anybody that has tried our beer, that's a fan, that wants to give us a try because of this segment, I'm immensely appreciative because we do it for you guys. There's only so much of our own beer that we can drink. So this is why we continue to do what we do. It's for anybody that wants to give us a try, or for people that are familiar with what we do already and consistently look forward to whatever new beers that we're coming out with.
Well, you heard it from him. Check them out. If you see them on the shelf, go ahead and give them a little buy, get them a bomber, get a 6-pack, and go ahead and take it home and try it for yourself. Again, thanks for watching KraftMoto. That's it.